Okay, a little impromptu sharing from a coaching session this morning that I did, which had me in tears, like sobbing, like ugly crying. Okay. It has never happened before. I mean, I've been moved before during sessions. I've just never cried and sobbed like I did this morning. And it was such a special moment. I just wanted to share a little bit with you guys. So this is the client I was seeing this morning. Is part of the Clarity program, the coaching program that I'm in the midst of. Right. So this is my signature program. It's a longer program. It takes about 9 months to 10 months to do. And I'm still in the midst of refining, clarifying, who is best suited, who am I best suited to serve, right? Because I'm figuring out my own personal vocation as well. I'm sharpening and getting more granular about who am I gifted to serve is the best, right? So I feel like me living into this discovery myself is what I'm called to bring to my clients, right? So I'm trying to figure out who am I meant to serve at what specific point in the journey am I most effective in helping God effect some transformation. Okay, so I really believe that's my call to clarify. And this morning was just one of those moments when God really revealed, this is what I'm doing through you, and this is the kind of people that you are best fit to serve, best designed to serve. And what was so moving for me is that the client that I saw today, her mission field could not be more different than my mission field. Okay, I'll tell you, one of the things that I've been struggling with is that as I get clearer about my call, it seems like I'm most effective for people who have a certain life experience, who have a certain degree of education, who can appreciate being led or being taught at a certain degree of sophistication. Okay. So, and there's a part of me that always kind of feels like, oh, that's like so elitist. I mean, even though I grew up with a privileged background. Okay. So I went to good schools. I had, I went to good schools. I've experienced a certain degree of education. I mean, I went almost all the way to have a PhD after all. And I really want to help people, right? I want to help God's people. There's a part of me that's always kind of felt like, is it okay if I can only help people also of a certain degree of education? I guess if I had become a university professor, that would have answered that question as well, right? I'll be teaching students who are in university or maybe even in doing graduate studies. But when it comes to helping people discover their vocations, which is what I feel called to do, it is. I've always struggled with: do I do this only with people of a certain degree, of experience, life experience, of a certain life background, or who have reached a certain degree of accomplishment in their life? I don't know, right? So that's something that I've always kind of like resisted. And when I went to work full-time in church, part of what I benefited from, part of what I think I learned was that really, there are many, many, many different life experiences, people coming from very different social economic backgrounds, different cultures, and they all are worthy of God's love, of course, just like, all of us are. And I was given the opportunity to serve, a very diverse audience, but I also learned, it was very humbling, that I'm not equally effective for all of them, right? And that's something that I'm still learning to embrace when God reveals to me what does not belong to me or where He's not sending me. Is it more about how I see myself or how I worry how other people may see me? or can I just obey him? And in the course of clarity, I have the deep privilege of working with people who are really wrestling with very important questions in their life journey. And I've been finding that the people that I seem best equipped to serve and who really are gaining like the most from working with me are people kind of like at midlife. Okay, by midlife, I mean like maybe late 30s or 40s or 50s. Because they have a certain degree of life experience already. Most of these people have done well professionally. So like on the surface, things are okay. Things may even look good, but they're struggling, right? They're really struggling with why is it that I still don't have clarity about who I am? Why is it I'm struggling? I'm not motivated. I don't seem to have a reason to complain, generally speaking, because from external metrics, life is good. I'm doing well, but I'm lacking specific purpose and clarity, right? And momentum and direction in my life. The client that I was with earlier today was someone who not that long ago, just a couple months ago, was really seriously thinking about quitting her job and maybe making a change in her career. And, I'm so glad that she hasn't. And in the last conversation that we had, it was clear that was probably a reaction from just how down and how low and how painful the last few years have been. But after looking more deeply at her achievement stories, which is part of this journey of the coaching program, okay, we look at your motivational design. Right. And you have to clients have to provide very concrete, specific stories from their life as part of this whole process. But it's just become abundantly clear that it's not that she's in the wrong career. She's in the wrong demographic. And as in her career, there's a general career, right? And this particular client is an educator. But it's a very specific kind of demographics of students that God is clearly sending her to, has equipped her, that her life story speaks out to, right? And when she's in the wrong place, when the optimal conditions are not met, not only is she not motivated, she underperforms, she's not doing well, and she starts thinking that maybe she's not cut out for this career and for this job. But going through this coaching program and the exercises has made her remember where she has been remarkably effective, incredibly effective. In fact, I was crying because of her stories. I was crying because of the amazing things that she has done with people with students, with children, with young people that often have very low self-esteem because they're forgotten by society, because they've been written off by our educational system, in our country. And she has been able to do amazing things with them over the course of years. She has transformed lives, and she has opened eyes of other people, of her colleagues. And that has all been true in her career, early on in her career, and she's had a long career. But it's just that along the way, she has been moved to places that do not fit her optimal condition. The people that God wants to send her to are no longer in the places that she currently works in. And so she's begun to believe that she's not cut out for this work, for this job, right? And to see her remembering that it's not that she's in the wrong job, but she just needs to refine the parameters. To see her become clear whom God is actually sending her to, so that she can actually take ownership and take action and, make that request to go back to the environments that she was cut out for, that God has created her for. They're very challenging environments, okay? They're environments that most people will find very challenging, but not for her. She comes alive. I mean, she does find them challenging, but she thrives in those environments, and amazing thing happens amazing things happen, when she's there. And I'm just so moved because I do not have the gifts and the calling to reach these people that I know God loves very much. I would love to be able to give them hope, but that's not my gifting. That's not my mission field. But because I'm answering the call that God has given me, I am able to make a difference, and indirectly, to those people that I cannot reach because of someone like my client who does have that calling, who does have that gifting. And she is meant, if she answers that call, I was practically begging her. I mean, not begging, but I was really telling her, please, you have to go back. You have to go back to those people. You have to go back to those young people that God created and gifted you to serve, because, oh my gosh, you're making such a difference in the lives of those people, of these young people who otherwise have so little hope. You have to go back. I was just telling her, you have to go back. You have to go back to them. And she was saying, yes, I will, because now I know and I will not forget anymore. I think this is the point in her journey. She had to go through everything that she had to go through, including being in the wrong places. All that was part of the data of her life that she needed to experience. And now she has. And it's just so amazing. One of my favorite quotes is from St. Catherine of Siena: be who God created you to be, and you will set the world on fire. And the difference between setting the world on fire and just kind of like feeling like you're nothing, feeling that you have no life in you, sometimes is really finding that fit. It's not the only thing. Okay, there are a lot of things that need to happen in the process. A lot of purification, a lot of healing and integration that also needs to happen. But a big part of it is finding that fit. And blessed are we, blessed are those, blessed are you, if you finally at the point in your journey when you see that connection and you're like, oh, it all makes sense. It all makes sense. My life makes sense. My story makes sense. And today was an incredible day because I could see it happening for my client, and I could see it happening in my own life because God was showing me, like, this was a confirmation and an affirmation. I am where I'm supposed to be because I am making good things happen, not just for my client, but when she clarifies her mission and her calling, oh my gosh, the impact that she has on people that are out of my reach, people that I cannot connect with. I see now that I'm connected to this huge web of grace. I'm connected to this larger mission field, right? I have my little corner, and I really shouldn't worry and be ashamed of how my little corner seems to be so small in some ways. I can only reach such a small number of people of a particular kind, of a particular persuasion, or particular kind. Just like my client can't reach the kind of people that I reach. All right, but I can see how incredible and important her work is, her mission is. And today I got a glimpse, a very powerful glimpse, that I am connected to that larger mission field, to God's kingdom. So I just want to say, I hope that you who are watching this, if you're still watching this at this point of this video, don't give up on your journey. Keep going. And may you find where God wants to set the world on fire through you being you.